Uniquely me is uniquely you. Balancing the different hats of life, achieving all your goals in the name of Christ. Uniquely me is uniquely you. You can do anything. With the S on your chest, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. You are a winner and you're an overcomer. You can be all things to Christ who gives you strength. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Yes, you're wondering what's going on now. Not to worry, I thought I would talk with you a little bit about who I am, what's my purpose, who am I targeting, what is it that God has brought me to, what is my ministry all about. And I thought I'd just talk with you for a while now. This has been on my heart. And so I think what great time to bring this forth than in a new season of Uniquely Me. I'm calling it a new season because everything about Uniquely Me is changing. We will still be shown, of course, on MTM like you are right now, but just how we are doing things is different. In Habakkuk was told to write the vision and to make it clear. And the word continues, it says, it will speak for itself. At the appointed time, it will surely come. Few years ago, too long to remember, I decided I wanted to write a book. But the truth is I had no knowledge what writing a book was all about and the whole works. But then sometimes again a vision is for an appointed time. So the vision of wanting to write a book I started, but I put it down because I wasn't so sure what I was doing. Then came trials and tribulations, as they would call it. And so I was forced into a time of spending time with the Lord. And as I began to spend time with the Lord, that's when the Lord brought about what I call God's, well, I refuse to say that. God's daily portion is what He gave me. It wasn't my word, it was His word. It's called God's daily portion. And so most of you know me from God's daily portion. Most of you have been familiar with my first book, God's daily portion. Now, I remember when God gave me that and He said to put it in a book. And I said, God, but nobody here in Jamaica writes a book. Because I guess, you grow up, yes, you see books, but who writes them? Who publishes them? Is there such a thing as editing and formatting and somebody here locally doing it? And then as I started exploring, somebody told me about Crystal Day. And Crystal, every time I give an interview, I give kudos to you. The thing though is that Crystal did not publish my book, sad to say, because when I met Crystal, Crystal said, you're already written. But let me tell you something, no experience that you're going through is wasted. God had a plan and a purpose. And so I was forced to go and dig and put together that book for myself. Till today, that book has been out for almost 6 years now. And the lady who helped me to put that book out, never met her. She simply was one of my co-workers, sister. And she said, listen, we're going to get that book published. And she was just on board. You swore blind it was her own project. And so God's daily portion came out. And as if that wasn't enough, God said, I'm not done with you yet. As a matter of fact, the word that came from my pastor at my book launch was that God has placed a plumb line in my hand and that many more books were going to come out. Might I say that to date, I have 13 books. You heard right, all of 13 books. What do they cover? So they cover devotionals, they cover my writer's workshop guide, they cover journals, and of course my memoir, Uniquely Me. So let's talk a little bit about Uniquely Me. So yes, I started writing Uniquely Me a long time ago, long before God's daily portion. But again, like I said, I wasn't sure what I was doing. So of course, I just wrote it and put it down. But then when the time came and the Lord brought me back to Uniquely Me, the Lord said I was to write all of my story, all of what I've been through. And so Uniquely Me basically covers, like it says, the acrobatic endeavors of our women. Why? Because we are everything. We're wives, we're mothers, we're church leaders, we're everything. Sometimes when I think about it, I have to think about what my children are going to eat. I have to think about what my husband is feeling for today in terms of dinner. I have to think about which clothes they're going to wear. I have to be thinking about so many things. And yeah, I get overwhelmed sometimes. But can I tell you, the truth is I'm never overwhelmed to the point where I feel like giving up. As a matter of fact, I feel like every time I feel overwhelmed, that's when I feel like just putting in the fourth and fifth gear and keep going. So Uniquely Me speaks about it. It's my story, guys. It talks about one looking in the mirror. Who are you? And that's where I want to challenge you who's watching, all of my unique women who are watching. I want to challenge you. There is something deep inside of you. There is a gift on the inside of you. There are talents and skills inside of you. I tell persons that every single thing you see around you has a purpose, or you can use it to do something. I remember meeting this gentleman who his business is all about screws. And yeah, screws. Who makes a business out of screws? But let me ask you something. The chair you're sitting on, is there a screw that is connected to it, or a screw that has been used to connect it? The television that you're watching, or that computer that you're watching me on, does it have a screw in it? Well, yes. Every single thing you see around you has got a purpose. And the funny thing about it is that somebody created it. Somebody was instrumental in getting it to work. Therefore, there are many of you watching right now. You're good at anything with your hands. You're good with cooking. You're good with sewing. You're good with your voice. As a matter of fact, how did my speaking career come about? How did this whole show come about? Part of it was that I began asking the Lord, what can I do, right? I was looking for a second source of income. And so every avenue that I was looking at seemed to have just been dead ends. Until one day I said, God, what have you gifted me with that I can use to generate an income? And so finally the Lord said to me one day, I gave you a voice. I gave you a voice. And I said, what, Lord? And the Lord said, yes, I gave you a voice. And so I've been using my voice ever since then. I use it to speak. I use it to motivate. I use it from my as a matter of fact, my tagline for my writers, my publishing business is if you can speak it, you can write it. And so sometimes when I'm struggling with how to write a letter or how to write anything, I speak it first. And so I discovered if I can speak it, I can write it. And so God has given you a voice. And then as everything I look at, oh my God, I see possibilities in it. I see potential in it. Some of you are good with drapery. Some of you are good with just somebody give you a piece of material and you turn it into something wonderful. Matter of fact, the dress I'm wearing is compliments of TNT fashion. This when I'm finished on my Instagram page, you'll see the pictures of it. You'll see how this woman took material, cloth, for want of a better word, and she has made beautiful dresses out of it. The earrings I'm wearing, the necklace I'm wearing is also from her, right? There are so many different talents that's around. And so women, I'm saying to you, in your own rights, you are unique. Earlier on, I had an interview with one of my guests and she says, no two fingerprints are the same. And that's the truth. No two fingerprints are the same, which means that if both of us decide to do the same thing, guess what? You have your market and so do I. It amazes me every time I go into the supermarket. You see different brands of bread. You see different brands of milk. You see different brands of this, different egg. Let's use egg as an example. You see different people branding egg, for want of a better word. And so it means that each of us has potential, right? God has invested potential, just the right amount of potential that you need. Not what I need. God has given me what I need. But what about you? Why are we always so focused on what the other person is doing and not focusing on ourselves and the gifts that God has given to us? Of late, the Lord has been talking to me about the gifts and the talents. He gave some 4, some 5, and then there was this one man that got 1 talent. Did you know he got the easiest of all? 1 talent. Yet, I don't know, I wonder what is it that got in his way. He went and he buried the talent. How are some of you burying your talent? We're focusing on what other people are doing. We're focusing on the self-talk. The self-talk that's so loud. You're not good enough. Nobody's going to listen to you. Well, let me tell you something. I got to that place because, yes, I suffered with self-esteem for a very long time, believe it or not. And so part, as I said, the first chapter of my book focuses a lot on that, looking in the mirror. One day the Lord said to me, look yourself in the mirror. Look yourself straight in the eye. Take note of what you're seeing on your face. Some of us, we look in the mirror, yes, but we're not taking note. We're afraid to stare ourselves in the eye because we're afraid that the self-talk, what will come back, our future self will speak so loud and said, why did you wait so long to tap into that which you've been gifted with? I've also discovered that when your season come, my God, when your season comes, it's your season. So here's how I usually illustrate it. A mango tree and say a tamarind tree or an ackee tree. Some of those fruits, you will notice, they don't all come out at the same time. But one thing I can tell you, that when a mango tree, when it's the mango season, you cannot stop that mango from coming forth. Why? Because it's a season. Now, I tell persons that if you force the mango to ripe before its season, what you're going to have is a force ripe mango, which means you won't get all the juice and the nutrients from that mango because it's force ripe. So I'm saying to some of you that, yes, you're watching and on the inside, you know you want to start a TV program, you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to write that book. There's so many things that you want to do. And yes, it might not be your season, but there's always the right season to be learning. So some of the things that I did, I live on YouTube. And yes, I have a full-time job, guys. I run a unit. I'm a banker by profession, right? And my goal is that I want to climb the corporate ladder to have manager behind my name. But aside from that, God has given me a ministry that I recognize that unless I put in the work in it, the angels are not going to come in and work it for me. God gifted me with that talent and with that gift. So I spend a lot of time learning and researching. I spend a lot of time talking to other people, wanting to understand how did they do it. Because the truth is that if somebody else did it, it means it's doable. So you just have to bring yourself to that place of getting to know those persons. A lot of us are afraid of networking. A lot of us are afraid to go ask people questions. Did you know that a lot of the people we consider to be experts are waiting on you to come and ask you how did they do it? Because a lot of us, we are dying to share the knowledge. We're dying to impart what we know. So I took, again, earlier on, no, it was last year, everybody keep asking me, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you write 13 books? How do you do it? How do you manage all of what you do? And so I did Uniquely Me journal, right? That journal just basically is more of a calendar kind of thing where you get to document all of your to-dos. You document what are some of your strengths, what are some of your goals, how to make those goals simple. And I just give you a lot of lines in it so you are able to just document your thoughts and just record everything. What did Habakkuk say? Write the vision and make it clear. So I'm saying to you, you are asking me, how do you write your vision and make it clear? I'm saying to you, get a cartridge paper and tape it up on the wall. Do you know what I do hilariously? I get a lipstick or I get a marker and I go in my bathroom. And I write on my mirror, I write my goals and my vision. As a matter of fact, depending on the season that I'm going through, I record a verse on my mirror. So every time I go into my bathroom, the word is there to remind me the purpose, whatever goals I've set. Now, somebody said, and my husband reminded me of it yesterday, that a goal is something that God has, or a vision is a goal that God has given you. And if you can see it in your mind's eye, it means that it is something that you can achieve. Yes. So you're saying to me, or I'm saying to you that you have this vision of owning your own photo studio or your own recording studio, and you don't know where the first cent is coming from. Matter of fact, that dream looks absolutely dull, void. Let's not talk about it. Well, let's talk about it. It's about time you begin to align yourself. It's about time you got off that couch and move forward. So let me share something with you that the Lord revealed to me recently. The matter of the sluggard. or the slug, for want of a better word, and or the slut. As a matter, depending on the version of the Bible you're reading, you will see talks about the sluggard, the slut, or the slut. And when I researched it, or in that movie, I forgot the name of that movie where the slut is there. You notice he moves at yes. A lot of us are in that state. But when the word of the Lord says, "Oh, sluggard, go talk to the ants and let him teach you a lesson," I said, God, okay, it means that it's time to get off the couch. It's time that we get moving. So who am I targeting with Uniquely Me? I'm targeting women. I'm targeting young girls. I'm targeting men too. Because a lot of men will tell you, and you would have seen my previous interview with Jamar. Jamar talks about all the ladies in his life that brought him to the place where he's at, so much so that he received a Governor General's award. He talks about his mom. He talks about his grandmother. He talks about his uncle's wife. He talks about his wife. He talks about his grandmother telling him that they need to break the back of poverty. Women, I'm saying to you that in your mouth lies a lot of power and wisdom and all the keys that you need to get going, to get started. You need to get started. So guys, how can you find me? Or what is my purpose? My purpose is that I want to empower women. I have a book called Enriched and Empowered for Women of Intent. I want to stir women to change, to move. I want to use the stories of others who've been there and done that, to use it to stir you to move. A mouthful, isn't it? So on board for this season, a few people have come on board, and I want to thank them. I want to thank my videographer, who is just RT3. You need to check him out. That's Rayon. You have Tevon Brown. You need to check them out as well. You have TNT Fashions. You need to check them out. You have Holz Hardware. You need to check them out. You have the Twickenham Park location. You have the Angels Open Bible Church. There's just so many people that are on board that I want to thank you in advance at the start of this new season. MTM, Mr. Hanson, Mrs. Hanson, I can't thank you guys enough for opening the door, for allowing the Lord to use you to open this door for me. And of course, you women, you viewers who continue to watch, you who are tuned into my YouTube channel at Uniquely Me, you are on my Instagram page at God's Daily Portion, GDP Writers Workshop, Lugs Retreat, and of course Uniquely Me TV talk show. I thank you so much for constantly tuning in. I thank my ladies and all my guests who have already come on and those who are yet to come. Remember, what we are doing is uniquely us, that is uniquely somebody else. We are storming the kingdom, right? The kingdom of the earth. We're populating, we're dominating earth so that we can populate heaven. Ladies, Uniquely Me is uniquely you. And I want you to understand that if you think where you are is at a place that no one knows, no one understands, I want you to understand that somebody else has been there, done that. By the way, have you gotten my book yet? You thought I was going to end this without asking you if you've gotten my book? You need to just go on Amazon, type in Simone Stewart, type in Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart, type in God's Daily Portion, type in Rejoice, type in I'm doing a great work and I can't come down. Those are just some of my books. Or of course, just reach me on Instagram. I'm always willing to talk. But thank you so much again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for just making Uniquely Me what it is. And of course, how can I end without saying, God, you deserve it? The words from the Lord this morning to me was, He's taking me to a place of being adventurously expectant. And that's where I'm at. Thank you so much for tuning.
Who am I really? Choices, choices, choices. In pursuit of a career? OMG, I'm a wife. Help! I am a mother. Oh, I'm in church. When do I get to be a woman that God called me to be? Uniquely Me covers the acrobatic endeavors of every woman to balance the responsibilities of being a mother, a wife, a professional, a church leader, a friend, yet still maintain her identity. I too am a mother, a wife, a trained minister of religion, a banker, an entrepreneur trying to balance the many hats that signifies my role. My book will help motivate and empower every woman who is really unique in her own way. Grab your copy today on Amazon, because Uniquely Me is uniquely you.
Thank you for tuning in to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Remember, uniquely me is uniquely you.